This was the race where I was so close to becoming a national champion. So this is the 6th and last race of the National Virtual Cycling Championship series. So I've made 5 other videos for the first 5 races. Today is the finals, and the first person who crosses the finish line gets to wear the national champion's jersey and get crowned a national champion. So even though there were 7 participants in the elite wave, Ryan, John, James, Oivind, Danny, and of course the national champion Willie and me. Willie is obviously the favourite to win today. He won 4 out of the 5 previous races. And the other 5 riders are all top quality riders, and I got beaten by Oivind and Danny before. Honestly, I had very low expectations of myself coming into this race, and I'd be happy if I didn't come in last. The bike course we were cycling was a little more than 1.5 laps on Zwift, a virtual cycling platform, about 37 kilometers in total, including a few significant climbs. Not being a very strong rider, my plan is always the same: just stick to the front pack as long as I can, and of course enjoy the racing atmosphere in the room. The race started at 1 PM and I went 1 hour earlier to set up and chat with the other guys. This is the 6th time I'm back here at Virtual Cycling Singapore.
I got extra 30 kg of the slope for you compared to you guys.
But also extra power.
Not much more.
And after the final visit to the toilet, I weighed myself at 53.5 kilograms. So a bit heavier than the previous race, but it doesn't really matter. Next, we drew lots to see which bike we're gonna race on.
One piece.
One.
Bike one.
And I got bike number 1, which means it's right at the end and I have the worst view of all the other riders in the room. Hey, hello.
Hey, how are you? Feeling good?
Tired.
Yeah.
I slept well, but somehow still feel tired. My plan is always the same, just follow as much as I can. I'll eventually get dropped. Anyway, I prepped my bike and swapped the pedals to my Favero power meter pedals so that I can see the power data after the race. So now after everything has been set up, I went to catch up with the guys. Your GoPro recording?
No, it's not. Secret, so I couldn't.
You go for the SIT last week? How was it?
You're not very good race for me.
I knew there wasn't much of a need to warm up since we'll all be riding together at the start of the race. So I started warming up very late. 2 minutes more. Just started my warm up. 4, 3, 2. As soon as the race started, everybody dropped me. Sprint already. Okay.
What's been amazing about this series so far, and what I've really enjoyed, is seeing some talent that's been unearthed as well. In this race in particular, you've got a guy called Aaron who, frankly, no one who rides bikes in Singapore had heard of 6 months ago, and he's been doing really, really well. He's a national athlete on the kind of running scene, so maybe no surprise that he's doing so well.
I had to push 316 watts for 1 minute in order to catch the group. I didn't think the race would start off this hard, and it really took a lot out of me to catch the group. Thankfully, I eventually caught the group. I'm in the polka dot jersey right here. The national champion is this one. Willie is this one. And it was back to zone 2, zone 3 effort for me, just drafting behind the other riders. And beside me it was John, and I think it wasn't even 5 minutes into the race and he stopped. Wow. Oh, you're done? Yeah. What are you doing? 6.9k now. We all thought it was a bike problem, but he actually just didn't plan to complete it. Maybe he was recovering from something, I'm not sure. After John stopped, he gave me a list of all the climbs during the race. John gave me his cheat code, where the hills are. Hard to read. I thought it will help me, but no, not really. So now I'm still in front. James second, Willie third. Everybody's in the group. I think this is the last video before Willie made the significant move on the climb which no one could match.
And look, there goes Willie at 15 watts per kilo, attacking, already gapping everyone. That's a good move.
That's Willie's caper, isn't it?
Right. He's a watts per kilo guy.
Remember last year at the Singapore National Championships in Batam.
And I didn't really respond fast enough to his attack, and by the time I realized he attacked, he already made a 2 seconds gap in front of me. 2 seconds may not sound like a lot, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't close it.
I mean, if it was me in this race right now, I would be burning matches to stay with him.
Yeah.
Because once Willie gets away, he typically
Really
stays
hard to
away.
bring back.
Yeah.
If he does get away, I mean, it's going to take a real team effort to bring him back.
You've got an 8-second gap back to Aaron.
And also, Zwift doesn't notify you when a rider attacks. You just have to pay attention to the sidebar on the right all the time, and you cannot shift your eyes elsewhere. You won't know if another person is attacking like in real life because it's just silent. So I just took my eyes off that bar for 2 seconds and Willie was gone. That's why it would have also helped if I could see Willie physically in that room, but he was all the way at the opposite end of the room. In fact, he was at the second to last bike. So after a major attack like this happens, it's not warm-up mode anymore and the race actually starts. And if you're not the one leading the race, it's basically an individual time trial for you trying to catch the first guy. So now I'm trying to bridge back to Oivind, who responded to Willie's attack much faster than me.
I would be hammering the downhill if I was the guys in 2 and 3 now to try and catch on to Willie.
I mean, already it's around the 20-second mark.
Yeah. If we look at Willie now, I mean, look, he's not resting up. He's going downhill at 4.6 watts per kilo.
It also took quite a while to catch Oivind, and by that time Willie's gap grew even further.
11-second gap over Oivind. But what's interesting is Aaron and Oivind are now together. So they can work together once this flattens out to try and pull Willie back in. So
I thought Oivind and I stood a chance to catch Willie if we both worked together by drafting each other. But Oivind stayed on my wheel most of the time, so for me it's no backing off the power, and because it's the finals, my eyes were only set on catching Willie.
We're 11.3 kilometers in of a 38k race. That hill that they just went up, they go up it 3 times. We're at 12 seconds, with Aaron and Oivind together. But what they're facing is a guy on the front, Willie, who's riding somewhere between 4.5 and 5.5 watts per kilo, which is hard numbers to catch. And they're not teammates, Aaron and Oivind, so they're not necessarily kind of working together.
However, Oivind didn't stick behind me for very long, so during the next climb I somehow managed to get a gap from Oivind even without attacking at all. It was just pushing the power a little bit more just because it's a climb, so now it's just a solo mission for me to catch Willie. I noticed Danny was bridging to Oivind as well, and now they were working together to catch me.
Aaron going down, he's got 15 seconds on Danny and Oivind. So that's probably not what we were expecting to happen. I mean, credit to Aaron, he's a brilliant racer, and he's an amazing watts per kilo guy. I think he only weighs 52 kgs.
In fact, I held a 20-second gap to Oivind and Danny for the rest of the race, and that means I was as fast as both of them working together. I lost to Oivind in race 1 and I lost to Danny in race 4, so beating them today during the finals was an honour and something to be proud of also.
That's right. I mean, Aaron has now pushed his lead out over 3rd and 4th to 22 seconds.
And since it was the finals, I never took my sights off Willie.
Is he now saying to himself, I'm going all out to catch Willie on my own?
That's what it looks like, Alex.
For me, it was just a game not to let the gap increase, even though the gap just grew larger and larger. I thought if I'm pushing this hard, Willie must also be suffering pretty hard. So if there's a chance that he slowed down, I want to be there still chasing him. But in fact, the opposite happened. Willie grew the gap to me close to 2 minutes, and he won the race convincingly.
National champion.
Well, what a deserved champion, Willie, the 2024 inaugural ECycling Champion of Singapore.
Congrats, Willie.
In fact, I think Willie's time was the fastest out of all the other waves as well.
So again, that's a really solid race from Aaron. Remember, he's not someone who is riding his bike every day like a lot of people. He's a runner first and foremost. So to come here and come second in the national championships, that's a seriously strong effort. Aaron is about 200 meters now from the finish. He's actually ended up putting a 30-second gap into Oivind and Danny.
I came in second behind Willie in a time of 58 minutes and 41 seconds.
Like 2 minutes behind Willie. Willie has insane power.
Oivind finished next in 3rd.
And that is very good racing. Well done for 3rd place. We kind of picked it was going to happen.
And Danny finished in 4th.
Oh, cool. Oivind and Danny just finished. Come on, Ryan.
I did an average of 4.4 watts per kilo throughout the race, and Willie did an average of 4.6. And after the race, he told me that he was just going sub-threshold, and I couldn't catch him no matter how hard I was trying. So that's how significant 0.2 watts per kilo difference is. Oh, and my normalized power from the Favero power meter pedals was 241 watts, and that's 4.54 watts per kg for 58 minutes. So I guess 241 watts is kind of a true FTP for me. So here is Willie receiving yet another national champion's jersey, and I'm eating an apple.
I made the jersey this size.
One quick shout out to the Virtual Cycling Singapore team who helped put this together, and especially Adrian who texted each one of us to check our availability for every single race. And also thanks VSG for letting me compete against the best cyclists in Singapore, because without this opportunity, I'll never find out that I'm actually a pretty decent cyclist.
I mean, it's a tough course. It's a tough course. It's very hard.
Oh, and people were still commenting on my SAF PT shorts because I was the only one not wearing cycling shorts.
Not wearing bib shorts. Not wearing bib shorts, this guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, SAF PT shorts are literally military grade. So this is the silver medal and this is the finisher token for the finals, which completes the entire floppy disk. What a pretty cool finisher medal. So after this race, I still have a half Ironman to train for. I still need to get myself a TT bike. And since I've stopped cycling for 2 weeks to train for this race, next week I'm gonna do a full run week. I'm gonna try and complete Eliud Kipchoge's week again because the last time I couldn't even finish it. So see you in that video. Hopefully it'll be less painful. And subscribe if you want to stick around to find out how I'll do for my half Ironman.